Jim.
Sideways.
It was not the shul.
No.
Not upset the shul. Upset at them because they think they charge the shul too much. That was not really the shul. That was it.
Okay, so if anyone knows the deal, the other one wouldn't have sold for less. We couldn't give him less than the other one. It was the same
I'm
house.
just telling you.
I'm answering you. So when you don't know any information, you can't talk.
Every time people talk, you know nothing.
They say,
No,
they
no,
don't
no,
believe.
talk.
They're not upset the shul. They're upset at those people that they charge the shul extra money.
I never bought a house that I could afford.
Yeah, right? Always. 100%.
I never bought a house that I could afford.
Me too.
Open the Shulchan Aruch, Siman Shin Tetzayin. Shin Tetzayin.
Rabbi, before judges, I think you said that's funny. People come up to me and said, this is what Shalet Zion is doing. I said, you're telling me what I'm doing? He goes, no, but I heard. I said, they fight with you. I believe you. They fight with you.
Always don't, those who know don't talk, don't talk. Mostly that.
And it's all the same.
What do we do, Rabbi?
Siman Shin Tetzayin.
Empty barrels make the most noise.
It's Mishnah Perkei Avot. If you have an empty collecting box, you have 1/4 there, it makes
Makes
a
a lot of
noise. It's full.
There's an Arabic saying like that also.
It's a Mishnah. It's a Mishnah.
Jimmy, I'm gonna bring you to the Lion's Den in the summer. That's when it's really fun.
Yeah?
Yes, that's when it's fun. Let's see if you come.
You think I'm scared? Shin Tetzayin, Rabbi?
Siman Shin Tetzayin. This is Shulchan Aruch, 316.
Which halacha?
Halacha Yud.
Do you have Gimel?
Shin Tetzayin is a few.
I know those. You have Tefillah Gimel. I don't know these.
I heard it six.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, but I find my mistake.
You're too nervous. That's why.
So we're going to look in the halacha that is connected to the concept of melacha she'ena tzricha l'gufat.
Picture of that check's gonna go everywhere.
Shin Tetzayin Shin Zayin.
Shin 316.
Shin Tet Zayin. Shin Tet Zayin. 316. Seif Zayin in Shulchan Aruch. Seif Zayin. If I said Yud before, I was wrong.
Tzad Nechashim, Rabbi?
Yeah.
Tzad Nechashim.
Akrabim Shabbat.
Zayin.
Atzad Nechashim v'Akrabim b'Shabbat. A person is capturing snakes or scorpions or Sh'ar Remasim HaMazikim. Let's say you have bees in your sukkah. Im l'refuah, if you are planning to extract the poison from the snake, which is very, very expensive, chayav. Ve'im b'shvil shelo yishachenu mutar. Listen carefully now. Again, I'm capturing the snake or the scorpion only for self-protection. Mutar. Let's look at the Mishnah Berurah. Ve'im b'shvil, Mishnah Berurah, second line. Ve'im b'shvil shelo yishachenu mutar. היינו אפילו במקום שאין רגילים הנחשים להמית. This is in a neighborhood where the snakes are more or less not so deadly.
Do we know they're poisonous?
A second. ואין רצים אחריו. They're poisonous snakes. ואין רצים אחריו, they're not chasing them. אלא עומדים במקומם. ובזה אסור ללך ולהורגן. Again, I see a snake, it's a poisonous snake, he's basking in the sun. He's not after me, he's 20 feet away. I'm not allowed to kill him with Shabbat because he's not threatening my life. However, or what?
Black Mamba.
Afilu hachi, letzudan, to capture them, shari, mutar. Listen carefully now why. The Hainu, what is he doing? שכופה עליהם כלים, right, you have a snake, a cup is not enough, you cover them with a piece of metal, או שקושר אותם, you tie them up, והטעם, and the reason, this is why we are looking at this הלכה, והווה מלאכה שאין צריך לגופה, which means
You don't
I
want
have
the snake.
zero interest in capturing the snake.
So it's not gonna be Shimon.
דהיינו צריך לצוד, I'm not interested in capturing snakes, אלא שלא יישחן.
Not to get bit.
ואם היה יודע, I would be convinced שיעמוד ולא יזיקנו. If I know that the snake is taking a nap, לא היה צד, I wouldn't cover him. וקיימה לנו, למלאכה שאינה צריכה לגופה, פטור אבל אסור, מדרבנן. זה מחלוקת רבי יהודה רבי שמעון. רבי שמעון says מלאכה שאינה צריכה לגופה מותר, פטור, אבל אסור. והאחר,
This is against Harambam. Harambam goes
קורק,
with the Yehuda on this
קורק,
one.
קורק. והאחר משום
Hezekah.
הזקה, אפילו איסור מדרבנן לבד.
Wow.
So again, normally to capture an animal if you have zero interest would be אסור מדרבנן. But here, because I'm doing it to protect myself just in case, רבנן לא אסור fine.
But what's the melacha? Is it it's capturing? the
Capturing.
melacha? Not carrying the keli. Just
No.
capturing itself.
Capturing.
Capturing is enough.
ואפילו להרמב"ם, which we're going to see in a minute, דמחייב בעלמא במלאכה שאינה צריך לגופה. Remember, Rambam is the only Rishon who says that מלאכה שאינה צריכה לגופה חייב. He's פוסק, like רבי יהודה, מודה בזה. Why is
In the
that?
case of the sakana,
It's not a סכנה.
It's not סכנה, but it's,
listen why. וכתבו לטעמה, משום דסביר עלי, דזה לא מקרי מלאכה כלל. דהווה כמתעסק בעלמא. כיוון שאין רצונו בעצם הצידה, my really intent is to chase him away.
Right.
I'm not sure if it's going to go against me or not. So the reason, it's not even according to the Rambam, it's not Melachet Tzad. Let's leave this Rambam now.
It drops down from the Deoraita because his kavanah
He
is
says
not.
it's mutar. It's mutar. Even according to Rabbi Yehuda, מלאכה שאינה צריכה לגופה, חייב, here it's not even a מלאכה.
so Robert, that means in a practical,
Take the
in a
Rambam.
practical case, you're sitting in your sukkah and there's bees.
And you don't want
there's
to
a bee
be.
on the table and you bring a gun and you cover the bees.
It's acceptable.
That's our case. So that would be mutar, he say.
Mutar you to
It's
Rambam.
mutar, even the Rambam.
Even the Rambam.
להלכה it's mutar anyway, because the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon. Look at
Could you squash the bee? Could you kill?
You're allowed to put a couple
But
of
to
them.
understand the Rambam, Shita, it's a
Right.
person
Because
needs
you never
to
heard
know
that one,
Machshir.
Because
If
you
he needs
just don't want it to
so
bite
then
you.
In other cases, why is he going to be Mahayev? In other cases, it should also be.
Now we're looking at the Rambam. David, look at Rambam, Sefer Zmanim, B'chol Shabbat, Perek Aleph. You have Sefer Zmanim, look at
Perek what?
Aleph, Aleph.
Perek Aleph, right in the beginning of the book.
It's a famous Rambam.
We're reading the Rambam
Which
only
halacha?
for the three examples the Rambam brings. When the Rambam is posek, we know. The Rambam is posek, the Melacha She'eina Tzricha L'Gufa is Chayav.
Rabbi, which halacha?
We are interested in the examples the
He
Rambam
gives a
is giving.
snake around his leg, I think, and
Halacha Zayin. Halacha
Aleph.
Zayin, Aleph, David. Perek Aleph, B'Shabbat, Halacha Zayin.
כל העושה מלאכה בשבת.
כל העושה מלאכה בשבת, pay back means פרק ב'. Every time.
Yeah,
ככה,
so
אני-
we
אני
better
ככה
not
מציע.
have
זין, הלכה זין. כל העושה מלאכה בשבת, אף על פי שאינו צריך לגופה של מלאכה. חייב. Remember, the Rambam is פוסק לרבי יהודה, את מלאכה שאינה צריכה לגופה חייב. כיצד? Listen to the three examples, later we bring it to פרשת השבוע. כיצד? הרי שקיבע את הנר.
Put out a candle.
Listen carefully, you have a candle with olive oil, and you blow it, מפני שהוא צריך לשמן. Again, normally, why do, before I went to sleep last night, I closed the light. Why?
Because you don't want light.
Because I don't want light. But this guy's blowing
He
it
wants
because he
the
wants to
oil.
conserve the oil. אינה צריכה לגופה.
All the petila.
Yes?
But he still wants the melacha, you're saying. He wants the melacha, but for a different
Yeah,
purpose.
David, we are defining now the melachat. What you're saying is opposite from what we're doing. Yeah? The melacha is not. The melacha is why? Because I want the oil or because I want to
Put out the light.
put it. This is exactly David. All the lametet melachot b'Shabbat is what is the definition of the melacha?
Yes.
So the melacha is to put it out.
Because you don't want the light.
Take a woman that is very depressed and is cooking on Shabbat, which is vadai asur. She has zero interest in the food, but she has to keep herself busy. And this is the Nasir Halagufa.
That's a
She
good
couldn't care less
Yes.
if she's doing A, B, or C, or D. She has to be busy now. Tzricha legufa. I'm doing it because I'm interested in the food. Yes. So remember again, David. Lechabot is the way he said, "I don't want lighting." Here, I would like the light to be, but I need olive oil for another day. Yeah? Example A. Or naptila.
Quick.
If I keep the fire going on, the wick is burn
out.
כדי שלא יישרף, או כדי
שלא ייבקע.
שלא ייבקע חרס.
What's
If
that?
you
The
the pot,
yeah.
the pot is too hot.
It'll crack.
The small cup,
Small cup, and as it gets high,
They used
very
to make,
hot.
it was pottery back then. It wasn't
Right,
metal, so
right.
the pottery heat.
So here, David, why am I blowing the candle?
I don't want
Because
it
I
to
want
break.
to save
The jar.
How is that different than putting a bowl over the fly? I'm trying to see the difference.
Now you don't not doing to trap it, like for trapping it, I'm doing it, so it doesn't.
All the three examples are examples of melacha she'eila tzricha al gufa. No one is blowing the oil to serve the jug. No one is blowing the candle because he wants to serve the animal. Still, the Rambam says chayav. Why? Because melacha she'eila tzricha al gufa is chayav. מפני שהכיבוי מלאכה. והרי נתכוון לכבות, the כוונה is to blow. ואף על פי שאינו צריך לגוף הכיבוי. You do understand that according to שולחן ערוך and all the three cases, it's not חייב, it's אסור מדרבנן, it is not חייב. ולא קיבה אלא מפני השמן, לא מפני החרס, או מפני הפתילה, הרי זה חייב. וכן, המעביר, המעביר, את הקוץ 4 אמות ברשות הרגל. I wake up Shabbat morning and I see that someone broke a jar of glass. I'm afraid that kids are going to walk, so I'm picking up the broken glass, not because I have zero interest in the glass, I have zero interest in carrying it. I'm doing it to remove an obstacle, yes?
Yeah.
It happens in winter many times. The electric wires are done. סכנה גדולה, yes? ואף על פי שאינו צריך. Okay, so the classic example in the Gemara.
And he's saying hayav.
The Rambam is...
No, but this is, you're doing it for sakana. This is a little different than the first case.
The sakana is סעודה שלישית. Sakana is a sakana. I can stand there all day and say, Rabotai, please be careful. There's open wire. Sakana, what is sakana is right now? Someone is having a heart attack. Someone is
Do I have, no, Barbara, do I have, if you have a wire?
It's not a sakana, it is a sakana. Okay, the Ravad strongly disagrees. And the Ravad says, as we saw the Shulchan Aruch, okay? Now go to the Chumash a second.
Hypothetically, you're in Israel and it's Shabbat, and you have your light on in your house, and they're worried that they're going to get hit by a missile. Is that a sakana that you could shut the light? And the Rambam would say chayav or patur or what?
It's a light.
Because
What does that have?
Shut the light.
How's that a sakana to the light?
Because they know why do they shut lights off so that they can't find where you are?
In times of war, the planes were over the sea. Everyone had to do
Remember, they're not looking at somebody's house with a light
about the
on.
Iranians now. Jojo have a problem. He says Iran doesn't know. He's a little older than you, and he remembers, and I remember as a kid.
Okay, it's different vibe. That's his name.
And so what did they do in England in 1939, 40, 41, 42? They shut lights every night.
And in history, number one is turn all the lights off.
That's sakana for sure, 100%.
What do you do?
No,
I'm
no,
trying
no.
I'm trying to understand the
We
difference.
don't try it. There's no common denominator.
No common denominator.
No,
In
no.
all the cases, melacha is
Maybe
happening
just
at
This
the
is
end of the
the
day.
machlok.
No, it's on 72.
No, I'm only in Rabbi
The
Yehuda.
definition of melacha is if you are intended to perform what the
Thank you,
melacha is made for.
Thank you.
So danger is only one aspect. of it.
Every melacha, if you're sitting and writing an essay, you write the poetry only because you are bored, instead of just making like this, you write. And that's how it fun. No one writes poetry because he wants to take his mind off something. Yes.
I think he's trying to understand, Rabbi. You said Afilu Harambam will tell you if you cover a B with a
Okay,
cup.
forget this, אפילו רמב"ם. כל רמב"ם זה אסור, אסור לפי רמב"ם.
No, but it's chayav. The fact that it's a B doesn't help.
The only
It's still
reason
right
they
there.
come with this Torah, David, is to answer the question, how come the Rambam didn't do it? שזה אסור. So רוצים לומר, even the Rambam would say, I'm not doing anything.
David, the key line is Hacha Mishum Hezekah. That's what he says. Afilu Asur Derabanan Reka.
Okay, David, look at פרשת בערותך.
Well, we didn't talk about the aspect of Pesik Resher or Lo Pesik Resher.
Yeah. Is it to light the refrigerator?
Now you're gonna
No,
make
those
it
are say specific Eli, when is specific Eli, when is specific factor בדבר שאינו מתכוון? Guys, this is the Aleph Bet, not Gimel. Aleph Bet of Shabbat, different.
Okay,
Shabbat מלאכה,
okay, okay.
תקופה. אינו מתכוון, that means to jog every Shabbat on a grass, right? If you have your regular shoes, the likelihood of you digging into the ground or uprooting some grass is close to zero.
Right.
If you have spike or you have a special shoes,
Sure.
fine, that's psik rasher. We're talking about melacha, שאינה צריך, I'm doing it, I know what I do, but why am I doing it? אינו מתכוון means I have no כוונה בכלל, I have no כוונה to what happened.
Thank you, Rabbi.
The classic case we had is if you're dragging a
Dragging the table.
Right.
and you make the guma,
This
you
is
make that's a
exactly-
classic
this is
example we
exactly-
always use. You're
this is
dragging the sofa,
Or you
but
cut
it's
the
on
chicken.
צריכה לגופה means
the
every
and
מלאכה,
the chicken, you don't wanna kill
מלאכה,
that, I just wanna tell you.
מלאכות, me and you.
like to do that to
Everything
some
we
people.
do is, I'm doing it for the purpose of this activity is
I
made.
love that. I got such a.
Right, I'm just
If
trying to
I'm
understand
using the,
why he said it's not even a melacha. He said by covering the B, it's not even. So even Rabbi Yehuda would be Mati. That's what I'm trying to understand.
More than that.
come, look at second
Who thought this topic would be so controversial?
This topic.
every topic that people know one, scale 1 to 100, you know one, everyone already.
There's probably in the Gemara someplace.
No.
A little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
Very dangerous.
In the Gemara someplace, right?
So why does the Rambam tell? Why does he need this whole discussion? Tzarich legufa not. He says it's chay, you're not chay, you're chayav and everything. So what? So why the discussion?
Easy with it.
There is a machloket in the Mishnah in Masechet Shabbat between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon. מלאכה שאינה צריכה לגופה, רבי יהודה says חייב חטאת ומזיד חייב סקילה. It says in this week's parasha, you are חייב סקילה. Let's go in. רבי יהודה, לא עובד החומש. then.
8:12.
Oh, the Makoshesh.
זה מקושש, exactly.
Yeah.
It can be 12.
No,
I didn't know.
796 maybe?
You look at second, page 816.
8:16.
8. Oh, so Shelach, not out.
Oh, סליחה.
You said download it. I was going to tell you that twice weeks. Rabbi, we got you all guys. This is the last day of school. כתינוק שבורח מבית הספר.
We have 4 weeks till next Friday.
Well, you have school till next Friday?
This is a school.
Where's the school? Where's their school? Where's their school?
You know, not
You
every
have to go to school until next Friday? Wow, I didn't know that.
It's a high school in New York State.
What is it, Regents?
It's not a camp. It's not a camp.
It's a amount of days.
It's for children.
Flatbush is pretty,
You have to teach 180 days.
Right.
Oh.
Well, they gave them off so many days
Well, that's
during the
true.
year.
yeah, that's right. Well, they have regulations. They have regulations. If they want to qualify, you have to do things.
והיו בני ישראל במדבר, in the next John, next week is Regents. Regents mean, yesterday I said from 12 to 3.
Watching?
What?
Barker.
It's a perfect idea, time to exercise your mind.
Are you allowed to have a sefer in front of you? Or
Yeah.
no?
No,
You have to
No?
watch that.
Cannot,
No, you have to watch that.
Wow.
not watch like this.
Yeah, but you have to
You
keep your head up.
being there, you have
You can close your eyes. The kids are separated from each other when they take a test.
Yeah, there's a desk.
to separate the exact guess by code. You say this.
So I remember, I was in high school, we had.
Yeah, one yes, one no.
Convenient,
Don't
put
worry,
anybody
every
else's
few
papers.
years, every few years, you know.
Yeah,
it's
every
done.
trick in the book, Jimmy.
But anyway, next year, the school already said, no one can come to school with an iPhone.
With what?
iPhones.
iPhone. Because
Everyone.
New York State did it. Yeah, yeah. yeah.
If they were able to do it, it must be-
Right. She signed it. Coco signed it. No phones are public.
She probably did something good.
She did something that.
Look at 816.
You could bring it and deposit it, or you can't even have it with you.
I'm not sure, I'm not sure.
You'll be at the
So
half.
the question is, really, lunch.
Yeah.
Look at 816. ויהיו בני ישראל במדבר, וימצאו איש מקושש עצים ביום השבת. Let's be very practical, okay? Jesus has Shalom likes to smoke. So after Shabbat lunch, he's taking a walk on Ocean Parkway.
We can't see you, Rabbi Prague. The book is in front. It's hard to hear. Sorry. I apologize.
Let's assume that you are a serious smoker and you take a walk on Shabbat with a cigarette. Okay? And two religious Jews are telling you
Be Scotch for Jimmy, Rabbi.
what you do is assuming a Torah, the punishment is secular. Tomorrow we have to go to court. The guy has to be out of his mind, not to drop the cigarette. I forgot, drop it. Go home now, smoke in your face. Here is a man when thousands of people are walking and he is David is openly desecrating Shabbat.
We don't even know what the Mekoshesh
Okay,
is.
there are
It's not
three
known yet.
opinions. Either he was carrying or he was picking
Gathering,
מה זה
or-
משנה? It's clearly it
Yeah.
was מחלל שבת. ויקריבו אותו, המוצאים אותו מקושש עצים אל משה ואל אהרון, ויניחו אותו במשמר כלא פורש. Everyone understands this is a difficult parsha.
Yeah.
תוספות עם מסכת בבא בתרא דף קי"ט say, listen carefully, which Shabbat was it in the history of the Jewish people, the second Shabbat?
The second Shabbat.
This was right after the head of the Meraglim. Many people said, listen, we're going to die, there's no point of keeping up. Says, I am going to sacrifice my
He
life
did it L'Shem Shamayim.
Teach.
Yes.
people a lesson.
Oh,
The
he's wrong.
mitzvot are still a
No, but
mitzvot.
he didn't do it for the purpose of the melacha.
Says, comes the Maharam, the Babata
Can't
Kufi.
kill him.
So if you think about it, it's Malacha Shelatzchal
Yeah.
Bufad. There's zero interest in what he's doing.
It was not.
Who's the Rayat Rabbi Yehuda?
But why? Okay, so David says, it's a raya to Rabbi Yehuda, but the question is if the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon, it's an open, תקשיב, זה דברים עמוקים מאוד מאוד.
Even time I saw that you went way too fast. Two witnesses, two people come to this guy, warn them, and tell him, by the way, you're carrying on Shabbat. Let's say it's carry, make it simple, it's asur. And if not, we're gonna do sekila on you. If he says, I know it's carrying and I'm doing it anyway, in his
Yeah.
mind, if it's not tzedichala gufa, but he doesn't admit it to them, you can only go by the facts on the ground.
You what he says now?
He admits that I'm carrying because he's saying I need it.
Comes the Marsha says that it's why he just told me. אישה חזקה, זה לא סתם. The answer is, we know it after it happened.
Right.
He was smart, he didn't say to people, I'm doing it.
I'm teaching
Teach
to
you
teach a
Because
lesson.
if I teach you a lesson, they're not going to kill him.
Right.
So they killed him based on the
So
fact.
there's no proof for the Yehuda, that's my point.
Right, the facts on the ground. So here's the question now. תקשיב טוב. The goy comes to you on Shabbat. This is the Gemara in Masechet Yevamot. You remember Yevamot? The goy comes to you on Shabbat, cut my grass, and I'm going to feed my animals. If not, I'll beat the hell out of you. Yes. הלכה שלה צריכה לגופה או לא? Listen carefully, guys. And now dissecting with very fine knife. Is this? I'm not doing it because I have zero interest in cutting my Italian grass, but I'm protecting myself.
I think that's slicha legufa.
Yeah, you want the grass to feed the animal.
See, this is why.
You have it outside afterwards.
This is a מחלוקת in the אחרונים. See, באמת, if I don't cut it correct, it would beat me up. But I have zero interest in what I'm doing.
Right. But I need the grass to feed the animal.
This is a big.
Good.
So this is.
Zomer.
So
The
this
case
is.
of Zomer would be
I know,
a better.
by Zomer pulling, you are Zomer because the tree is going better.
But you're not chayav mishum ketzira. That's my.
Okay, זה מחלוקת בגמרא, זה מחלוקת שאומר משום החייב. So, all the אחרונים are asking this question, right? The Gemara says, well, I mean, if you want really to bring it home, a religious doctor is called El Shabbat. I had a
Yes.
doctor in my shul. He told me every time Friday night the phone rang, I know exactly. He used to work in Kings County. He says in King County here,
Oh,
you have two arrows, gunshots, stabbing. I mean, this is it.
Oh, wow.
So now, why is he going there? Of course, he's going to do what a doctor has to do, but is he going there because he has an interest? The answer is, but you are going to do a perfect job because you are a doctor. So on one hand, you are Mechalel Shabbat, Bekavanah, on the other hand, my intent is not, this is a big discussion in all the Achonim. All the Jews in America who came to America and threw the tefillin into the ocean, yes, on the boat. Okay? You cannot keep Shabbat in America. Huh? Why did they go to war? Because they didn't believe in Shabbat, or because I have to support the family. Understand? So if you take Jimmy's, no, but if you take Jimmy's svara is, but when you work in a factory, you do exactly what you're told.
Right.
The reason I'm going,
I have to do, otherwise they're not going to give you the job.
so not only you'll be fired.
Right.
So this is a big machloket. Can we learn from the case of the Mekoshesh? This is called melacha she'ena tzricha legufa or not? A Jew, I mean, all the soldiers in the Polish army, had to eat non-kosher because if not, they'll really beat you up. Okay, over there it's slightly different because you are nehene from the meat, you understand? אי אפשר להגיד, אתה אוכל, אתה רעב, אתה... But every... The cases that they bring you, this is... Remember, this is like a big limud zchut. Hundreds of thousands of Jews, but nevertheless...
So they ate under a shiur, I guess. So they ate in different
So
shiur.
those who ate pachot migishiur if you are religious, but here, he'll give you
But only Borei Olam knows the mahshava of a person. So, I mean, we can sit here all day and argue it, but we don't know what was in the mind of that person.
but the question is, halachically now.
Halachically, like the Mekoshesh, if he said, I know I'm doing it, he didn't tell them I'm doing it for ulterior purposes.
והנה תוספות שבת, ההיבט המותפת, נקטו בפשיטות.
Simply.
מי שמחלל שבת מיראת האיסורים של גוי, הרי הוא חייב חטאת. תוספות say, גוי is going to beat you up. I'm doing it only to save myself from being beat. תוספות say, but you are doing it the way he wants.
So you're cutting the grass not to be beat up, hatat only, according to Tosafot.
No, but
Only, that's the highest level.
no,
No,
but
hatat means shogeg. Hatat is shogeg, habibi. There's no hatat otherwise.
the player Shua says, I don't know why you are chayav chata. The Marik says here, a goy forced the Jew to cut the grass. The Marik says, no chayav
But you're
chata.
zero.
No, הוא אומר מדרבנן, okay, but if you're afraid from beating up, מותר, בסדר.
But you're saying beat up, it's not life or death. You're not talking about life or death.
Here, the Chavot Yair, this is 350 years ago.
I would think if it's life or death, it would be honest.
Right, that's not life or death.
No, it's definitely not life or death. Chavot Yair says, should religious Jews come, not Israel now, but this is in Europe, to on Shabbat, to dig, to dig trenches to save people. And war is about to come, yes? And why am I doing it? I'm doing it only because the bottom line is it's a machloket gedolah ba'od. Oh, it's being used as a limud zchut and many Jews in America. But you understand, my kavanah is, Rabbi Wallenberg said that when a Jewish doctor, a religious doctor, is going to the hospital if he's going with the right kavanah, according to this Rishonim, it's not even doing Isur Min Torah. Not only because we have to treat everyone equally now, all the Setirim. It says, my kavanah is to do with it.
What happens if it's part of his service and he gets paid for being there on that day?
נכון, אבל תשמע טוב. I couldn't find
What we
it.
learned last night, we were learning mitzvot, a Jewish doctor goes and he does.
קיץ נעים, חכם. We are still here. We're still here.
Yeah, Rabbi's here.
Make sure the president checks lines.
He's very riled up, Rabbi.
He's a wild guy.
Rabbi said, you have no idea.
He'll assume something. This guy's this competition.
Rabbi, it's your job to keep him in line.
His wife tried. I can't.
לבן איש חי איזה ספר תורה לשמה.
Yes.
שמע, סימן קכ"ג, המדליק נר בשבת, מפחד גויים שיחשבו שהוא גוי, מלאכה שאינה צריכה לגופה.
So he's lighting the candle,
Yes.
he's getting the light.
Lighting the candle,
Yeah,
he
he's
wants,
there.
הכל הוא עושה, but the reason is, my neighbor should see them.
I'm a goy.
הוא אומר, זה מלאכה שאינה צריכה לגופה.
And it's patur. At worst.
פטור, יהיה מותר.
At worst, it's patur.
Correct.
At worst.
This is
Possibly mutar.
This is our discussion. He's lighting the candle, he's putting it openly, But
So then he's eyes make killing.
this is exactly.
What about in Bamet Madlikin? Hamechabet Taneh b'nei Shehu.
No, but the machloket over there is melacha she'la tzricha legufah.
I'm helping
The
nothing.
machloket there.
Guys, let's
Come
go.
back to it maybe tonight.
That's what I'm going.
Have a nice day. How was the night in Israel?
Not good at all.
Oh, Soroka Hospital.
They
Oh,
hit.
it was there, miracle. They evacuated the hospital the
And
day
that one
before.
before, really.
Oh, that day or the day before?
Well, they knew it was gonna get hit.
No, I had no idea.
Just in case.
We have a fellow here that his
The
brother-in-law,
whole
his
floor.
brother-in-law was trying to
It's crazy. dude.
Go from Jordan to,
go through Jordan to Europe.
All these-
First time they told him you have tefillin, you cannot go in. Second is that, and the third time they gave him permission, but he says he doesn't want it.
You should know that they got a lot of damage last night in Israel, in Cholon, and plenty of places.
Unfortunately,
The Soroka Hospital and was really damaged terribly.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you. Don't worry.
Rabbi, you still want to assume,
We hope for good news.
Yes.
Mr.
Tomorrow is a regular day here.
Rabbi here?
I mean,